Believe it or not, there is a prison in the US that caters specifically to the rich and famous, the most elite criminals in the world. Welcome to FCI Butner, often dubbed the country club of prisons. Nestled in the awe-inspiring landscape of North Carolina, this institution offers a stark contrast to the typical image of a penitentiary, with rumors circulating that prisoners enjoy plush amenities and gourmet meals, and that the accommodation there could easily be mistaken for a luxury retreat. So, how did it earn this reputation, and what notorious figures call it home? Stay tuned to find out, as today we discover the history of FCI Butner, America's prison for the rich. I'm your host Ryan Sokash, and you're watching It's History. This video is brought to you by Delete Me. We've all made the mistake of offering up our personal information to the wrong online shop, and the next thing you know, the spam just starts flooding in. I've also done it, and basically what happened here is that your information was sold to data brokers. But with the correct awareness and some simple steps, you now have the power to remove your personal data that is exposed online. Delete Me is a fantastic service that will erase your personal data from PeopleSearch websites. I'm talking about hundreds of data brokers selling your information. And it's an ongoing process. Once they clean house, they'll keep scanning for new data that shows up so they can remove that also. Thanks to Delete Me, I could remove old listings containing my vital records like former addresses, professional background, and even family photos. So that's all to say that with Delete Me's ongoing monitoring, I feel confident that I can continue enjoying the privacy everyone deserves. I'd encourage you to do the same. According to the Guardian article I recently read, just one click on the wrong junk mail can lead to a full-on deluge, resulting in piles of unwanted mail, some of which might even look legitimate. So if you want to get your personal information removed from search results on the web, go to joindeleteme.com/Sokash. Delete Me is offering 20% off their privacy plans to all my viewers with code Sokash. Again, that's joindeleteme.com/Sokash, promo code Sokash. The Federal Correctional Complex, or FCI Butner, is located near the small town of Butner, North Carolina, and is by all accounts one of the most unique facilities within the U.S. federal prison system. Operated by the Federal Bureau of Prisons, a division of the U.S. Department of Justice, this complex consists of multiple facilities designed to serve a variety of inmate populations and various security levels. Though what makes this particular facility stand out so much is that it's often considered a preferable destination by inmates, though that wasn't always the case. You see, the facility's origins are deeply intertwined with a broader history of Butner itself. Originally established as a military and institutional center during World War II, the town of Butner is named after Major General Henry W. Butner, a North Carolina native and World War I veteran. Anyhow, it was during this period that Camp Butner, a vast military training center, was established in 1942, laying the foundation for both the town's development and the eventual establishment we now know as FCI Butner. During the war period, Camp Butner was used to prepare American soldiers for combat, while also serving as a site for housing German prisoners of war. After the war ended, the military base was gradually decommissioned, but its vast landholdings and existing infrastructure became highly valuable for new uses. It was around this time that the state of North Carolina repurposed portions of the camp, transforming it into a center for medical treatment and state-run institutions throughout the entirety of the mid-20th century. Facilities such as hospitals and rehab centers took root in the former campgrounds. This trend continued into the late 20th century as the area became increasingly associated with medical care and institutional services. By the 1970s and 80s, Butner had established itself as a site where state and federal government projects could thrive, supported by its proximity to Durham and Chapel Hill. Against this backdrop, plans for the Federal Correctional Complex were laid, recognizing the need for modern correctional facilities as well that could incorporate medical treatment programs alongside secure incarceration. The Bureau of Prisons selected Butner as the site for that new complex in the late 20th century. When FCC Butner officially opened, it was designed as a multi-institutional facility capable of housing inmates across different security levels while prioritizing special care for those with health-related needs. Over time, the complex expanded to include 4 distinct institutions: FCI Butner Low, FCI Butner Medium 1, FCI Butner Medium 2, and the Federal Medical Center, FMC, Butner. Each of these institutions serves a unique purpose within the broader complex. Allow me to explain. As the name suggests, FCI Butner Low, which opened in 1995, is a low-security facility, while Medium 1 and 2 are medium level. Lastly, the medical center is one of the key features of this entire complex, and it's the one component that contributes to Butner's notoriety as a cushy prison. As the largest medical complex in the Federal Bureau of Prisons, FCM Butner specializes in treating inmates requiring advanced care, particularly for conditions like cancer, and although the vast majority of cases here are legitimate, it has been speculated that billionaire criminals and those with political influence have managed to abuse this system. So, what's it like to serve time here? Well, life at FCC Butner follows a structured routine typical of federal correctional facilities. At the same time, its unique focus on rehabilitation and healthcare provides additional layers to the daily experience. Inmates' days are largely regimented with schedules revolving around work assignments, meals, recreational activities, and programs tailored to their needs. Inmates typically wake up early, with mandatory head counts conducted multiple times daily to ensure accountability. Meals are served in dining halls at set times, usually starting with breakfast as early as 6 a.m. After breakfast, inmates engage in assigned duties or participate in rehabilitative programs. Work assignments range from kitchen duties to maintenance and other institutional jobs, helping maintain the facility's operations and providing a sense of meaning for the inmates. Recreational activities at Butner vary across its different institutions, but generally include access to exercise equipment, outdoor sports like basketball or soccer, and arts and crafts. The prison also offers educational opportunities, including GED preparation, literacy programs, and vocational training to equip inmates with skills for reintegration into society. Of course, there are also the common privileges known in federal facilities, such as access to commissary items, mail correspondence, and visitor rights. But according to most, where the real magic happens is within the medical center. You see, the facility's emphasis on health and rehab fosters an environment where inmates can access resources like behavior therapy, drug treatment, and structured physical activities. Activities enjoyed by the rich and famous criminals of America. Now it's time to have a look at who has lived within these walls. Perhaps the most infamous inmate to ever reside at FCC Butner was Bernard Madoff, the mastermind behind the largest Ponzi scheme in history. A former chairman of NASDAQ and a criminal who orchestrated a fraud that cheated investors of an estimated $65 billion over decades. In 2009, Madoff was sentenced to 150 years in prison. Given his advanced age and deteriorating health, he was housed at the medical center here. Madoff's presence at Butner was emblematic of the complex dual roles as a correctional facility and medical institution, though his presence there did not go uncriticized. His case drew extensive media coverage, highlighting the special privileges afforded to criminals of the higher class. People were also disturbed by his status within the prison, as he had a unique ability to maintain a social circle and continued offering financial advice, leading some to feel that this punishment was no punishment at all. Beyond that, we have to discuss Jonathan Pollard's incarceration at Butner, an inmate which no doubt added another layer of notoriety to the complex. A former U.S. Navy intelligence analyst, Pollard was convicted in 1987 of spying for Israel, providing classified information that significantly impacted U.S. national security. His case remains one of the most controversial espionage cases in American history, with ongoing debates about the motives behind his actions and the appropriateness of his sentence. Another high-profile inmate was John Hinckley Jr., known for his attempted assassination of President Ronald Reagan in 1981. Hinckley's case was pivotal in the discussion about mental health and criminal responsibility. Discussions which ultimately led to significant changes in U.S. laws regarding the insanity defense, as well as the rights of the mentally ill within the justice system. Once at Butner, Hinckley was housed at the medium security facility, where his mental health needs were a primary focus. His incarceration put a spotlight on FCC Butner's role in providing psychiatric care and rehabilitation for inmates with severe mental health issues. And with that in mind, we also need to talk about Frank Calabrese Sr., a notorious figure in the Chicago outfit who found himself behind bars at Butner, adding organized crime to the complex's diverse inmate population, convicted of multiple murders and racketeering charges. And I think you see where I'm going with this. The facility did not only house people who didn't get their hands dirty, but there have been outright murderers here. Not to mention the likes of inmates such as R. Kelly, Mel Reynolds, and Ted Kaczynski. And it's no wonder that with such household names on board, the facility has taken on its own role in fictional shows such as Better Call Saul, where apparently it was mentioned in the final episode where Saul Goodman fails to serve his sentence at Butner, which he calls the ideal prison. And we'll leave it there for today, but I'm curious if any of you out there watching have actually been locked up in a country club-style prison. If you have been, share your stories in the comments section below so that I can get a first-hand look of what life is actually like behind bars in a place like that. Otherwise, click the subscribe button, and until next time, this is Ryan Sokash, signing off.